Hello, everyone. Welcome to Level Up with Lindy. Our next guest, this was a hard one for me to choose because I wanted her pretty much for every single month. But I chose this month because it's the beginning of a new year and everyone loves wellness, everyone loves self-care, and everyone loves a success story. So when I first met this beautiful woman, it was a very vulnerable time for me. And she came in and kind of like calmed me down. And it wasn't through anything besides suggestion and the power of being happy, which really does equal success. And I think after a really tough 2 years, a lot of people are searching for that. And my guest, Pamela, right here, is here to talk to us about all the successes that she's had. So welcome.
Thank you. I love the little walk down memory lane. It's always really, just touches my heart to have you recall that story. We were at a yoga studio, and it was like instant. And I was like, you were just this angel in my life. So I know that I've had an effect on your life, and you equally have had on mine. I love you so much.
I remember, I could barely even, when class was over, I didn't want to be rude. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need her number. I'm calling her. We're doing this. I'm going to figure it out. Whatever feelings, whatever blockages, however it needs to shift, this is the one.
It was like meeting you is like when we talk about meeting pieces of our souls. It's like, oh, there's a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Clicked right in.
Yeah. So let's see. So we went from yoga studio, home studio. We did our little sound baths.
For a couple years.
Yeah. Teepees on the land. And now we have all this amazing stuff in front of us for another adventure, another chapter of your success. So what is all this about?
Well, this is where I'm at today. Shall we maybe start from the beginning and what brought me to doing all of these things? Yeah, the long and winding road, right? So
credibility piece, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I was in the nightclub and hotel business, the hospitality business in Mexico and here in, actually in Ojai, California. And I was down in Mexico for 10 years, and we had nightclubs and hotels and restaurants.
I wish I knew you then.
Yeah, very different life. And it was an incredible time of expansion and growth. I went down there on my honeymoon, and we just decided that we were going to live there in Playa del Carmen. And what happened?
This was when Playa del Carmen was still
baby.
Cool.
Yeah. It was in 2001, 2002, and it hadn't hit yet, but there was an energy that it was going to, and it was just, the pull was so strong that literally we made a deal with the owner of this hotel who had a nightclub, or it was a bar at the time. And we talked to him about coming back down, and he had some little ads on the website looking for marketing for their condo hotel and management for the nightclub and the restaurants. And so we were just like, we'll just do all that stuff. Let's change our lives, and that'll be our honeymoon. So we ended up going down there, making a deal with him on the beach, and then 6 weeks later, whatever we hadn't sold and gotten rid of was on a container, and the container was headed back down there, and we flew down there with a couple of cats and a dream. And it was, I had a vision prior to going down there, and it was what it turned out to be the next 5 years of our life. We were sitting in Chicago in our loft, and I said, I see us going down there and selling the condos and revamping this, the bars and the restaurants, and really taking this to the next level. It has so much potential. It has so much marketing value. The name had a lot of notoriety. You kind of can't pay for that stuff. It happened over 20 years' time. And the owner was really a visionary. He was from the States. but he was tired. And so our energy, our
next generation.
It was like my now ex-husband had experience in public relations and the nightclub business in Chicago, and my background was design and marketing, and so the two of us together were extremely powerful.
I bet.
He was also sober, so going to a place that was known for partying and and all of that, it really helped to have our heads on straight 24/7.
Right.
I never got into drugs or alcohol, so for me, it was, I tend to I'm very focused, and both of us had a plan, and within
Not
a few
even like a
years,
little tequila?
Mezcal,
no,
a little
margarita.
a little red wine.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went down there with the idea that we were going to revamp this place, and that's exactly what happened. We ended up selling all the condominiums out in this project. The building got built. It was then, flourishing as a destination spot. It was right on the beach. And then
how many years is this? So you got there for honeymoon, and then now you guys are thriving.
2006.
Okay.
Yeah. Bought some land in the meantime, built a couple of homes, sold them, got another property on the main street, which was a restaurant and hotel, redid the restaurant, rebranded it, redid the hotel. It was just an insane time of like creativity, access to money, because the businesses were just thriving. And so we were able to do whatever we wanted to do. And that was truly a magical combination for me personally, to have that freedom to create with no boundaries.
That makes me happy.
The nightclub grew, and then the nightclub district grew out of that, and then little bars and restaurants popped up along that whole street, and we were down at the beach, so everybody ultimately ended up dancing on our dance floor, till the sun came up, and so, and then, just some things started to happen there as the town grew, as the money came in, the cartels came in, it got dangerous, and especially because we were foreigners owning a nightclub, and it got a little scary. We had several violent, machine gun attempt takeovers of the hotel property. And
I'm going to ask you how to deal with that one.
We had a fire that burned down our entire nightclub. A lot of things happened, and ultimately, for me, the amount of stress on a daily basis, it just grew and grew and grew until the one night, it was New Year's Eve, and we'd been there all evening, and I turned around and I saw my manager laid down on the ground with a gun to his head by a huge guy, all dressed in black with one of those masks on, those Mexican masks that have for wrestling or something.
Yeah.
And he was standing over my manager with a gun to his head, and I turned around. And
like, I'm done.
I said that was it. That was the turning point for me.
My life is important.
Yeah, I said this can't be my life. It can't. And so within 6 months or so, found our way back to the States. The plan had been to sell everything there and then come back to the States, but there was a sense of urgency around it. I felt like I was starting to get really aware of how dangerous it was. And then the police chief was killed in front of his home, and that sent the message that it was a lawless time. And so we ended up getting a house in outside of Calabasas in the mountains. Okay. We had been back to LA many times. Had a lot of friends here, and I felt like it was a good place to land. And so we ended up selling the nightclub, and then my home took quite a while to sell. The real estate market, because of all of the issues that the country was having at that point, with the drug wars and everything, really did not help. And that was my dream home.
Yeah, there's a sense of fear.
Yeah, it wasn't like people were running down there to do business or retire at that time.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. And so I came back to the States, and I realized I had PTSD from all of that creeping up over a period of many years. And so I started riding horses, and
here
figuring out
comes
what I was going to do. Yeah.
Another love of your life.
Yes. Well, I decided not to have children in this incarnation. And so when I started riding horses and I got this feeling in my soul, like I needed to have a horse, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what is even happening? And I went on a mission and I found him, and his name is Tuxedo, and he and I have 14 years together now, and we have competed in competitions like all across California and have won titles. And
I did not know this.
I learned a sport.
I did not know this. Okay, I like this.
He taught me a sport, 3-day eventing. So it was really a very healing time for me, and I started an apparel line called Horse Worship. And
another thing I didn't know. Okay.
You didn't know this?
No.
I never talked to you about this. Yeah. And then my husband was also simultaneously looking for something to do, and he ended up running into a friend of his who owned several businesses in Ojai, which happened to be hotels and restaurants, which I said I never wanted to get into again after leaving Mexico. But that happened.
Different country, maybe? Slightly different?
Different country, same business. Really, really stressful. The restaurant business, anyone will tell you. The hotel business also. So there were 2 hotels and a restaurant. And it was fun for me to find my place in the design and the creation of menus and again, the revamping. But ultimately, the amount of stress started to take its toll on my emotional and physical health, and also the actions that he was participating in that were not in alignment with my vision of a partnership. And wow, I just said that like really nicely, didn't I?
That's because we are nice.
Well, everything happened perfectly, and I'm grateful for all of it in retrospect. I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing now had all of the things not happened exactly the way that they did. So thank you. But I decided that I was going to step away, that I needed to for my health. My mother had just passed away after a 17-year battle with cancer. And then 2 days after her funeral, I was diagnosed with cancer, which was really, for me, the big wake-up call of that what I was doing and what I had been doing for a long time.
It's not serving you,
not in alignment.
Did you guys work with a team when you were doing like the restaurants and all the design stuff? Like, who were you around?
So in Mexico, we had 140 employees, and I speak fluent Spanish. So that was really, and we had a close team, I would say, of probably 5 people between the bar management, the hotel management, and then our inner office management. Yeah, and then and then it was smaller in Ojai. We had 64 employees, I think at the most.
That's a lot.
It was a lot, and we had one manager that was really my right arm, who I worked super closely with on everything. Yeah,
I can't imagine. I'm thinking about maybe buying something in Mexico.
I wouldn't recommend against it. I mean, it was a really incredible time, and I've been back there. It took me quite a few years after I left to head back there again, but now I go back and I enjoy it in a way that I have a different relationship with it.
It's a vacation.
Yeah.
Not your work.
Well, I have a lot of people down there that I had that became my family, and that I still love to spend time with.
Course,
so I don't hold Mexico and that experience and that chapter in my life against the country or the people that I love.
Yeah. I get that.
After I found out, after I was diagnosed with cancer, I ended up filing for divorce, and that really set me on a path of deep healing and really relearning who I was, and that's what led me into yoga and meditation. And then ultimately, I found a teacher who used one of these bowls. This is a singing bowl. It's a crystal bowl, and
it's my favorite one, and I didn't even ask you about anything, and I knew it was going to be the root. I just knew it.
grounding,
I knew it.
safety, security.
I knew it.
Finances.
I'm like, yeah.
All the things. Yeah, that's the bowl. And she played that bowl next to my head, and it stopped all thought. And it brought me the sense of relief and release like I had never experienced in my whole life. And I had so much happening. You know, my mom's death, the cancer diagnosis, the divorce, all of that happened within a 2-month period. And I walked away from my home and my businesses to rediscover, you know, myself. So that bowl
strength.
changed my life in a second. So I bought a set, I started playing, and it was really for my healing. I wrote a book called Meditating with Animals. And
I have that.
Because my animals were really what was there for me during that time. And you know, they were really healing me. And I thought, I see this energy transfer, and I want to be able to return energy to them when I'm stronger so that they're not depleted. Yeah. And that was really the premise of the book.
Do you play your bowls for Tuxedo?
I play the flute a lot for him and chimes. The bowls, I'm a little nervous bringing them in with his 1,200 pound clumsy body, but he loves the music. Yeah, my cat loves the music too. And I've done a lot of sound healings. I used to go to a place, it was called Den Urban Dog Retreat, and they would do sound healings. The room would be full of people and dogs. And you could hear, as soon as I started playing
remember
the bowl,
Louis?
A pin drop. Yes, little Louis.
Yeah, he would like do his thing and he'd find and go, and like 1 minute into it, all of a sudden, I think maybe one time he was even snoring or something. He was doing something.
He would get so excited when I came.
Little Louis. Another life.
So, yeah. And then I started playing. I got a download, which is just information coming in from somewhere, higher consciousness. Yeah. And I followed those my whole life. So when I was told to get a teepee and put it on this land, on this ranch that my friend had, she's outside of LA, I did that. And then I started inviting people to come and experience different kinds of meditation. And I brought my friends who were meditation teachers into...
That was my favorite.
To share their teaching so that I could keep learning. And because I never felt like I wanted to be in the seat of the teacher. I wanted to be always, and still do, the student.
I feel that way a little bit about yoga too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like teaching, you're like worried, you want to make sure all your students are good. Whereas when you're taking it, you can just completely zone out. Just taking a break from my thoughts here. I know you'll be here when I get back, but
yes, they will.
Yeah.
And so you've been up there.
I love it.
And, working a lot with, all of the things that really brought healing to me: nature, animals, sound, and guided meditation, visualization. And 2018, the fires rolled through that property, that land. And the teepee was lost. My home was lost.
Fire.
Yeah.
A lot of people had a lot of loss.
800 homes. Yeah, I was one of 800. And so it was really incredible to find myself having rebuilt and rediscovered life.
But like every time, like everything you do is like, okay, I'm going to try this, master. Okay, I already mastered it. Not really giving me good vibes anymore. Sell it. Okay, let's do this. Master, build it up. Okay, maybe we're not going to do that anymore because it doesn't give me this. Okay, I'm going to go and do this. Mastered, in my mind, because when you went from raising money for a teepee to being able to have enough to sustain clients in home at the teepee, branching out, which is, we'll get into that, in a little bit, and really doing like business development. That's really hard to do when you're healing. You have tons of triggers like we all do, and you're building a new team, you're trusting, and like every step along the way, you're measuring success. You're getting success no matter how hard, little blood, sweat, and tears like we talked about on the way here. But it's always that like epic performer. And when I say epic performer, it's more like there's no competition. It's just you listening to yourself. It's you believing in yourself. And that's like the success. I think some people around these days just kind of maybe build it on money, or build it on, did I get that promotion, or how far did I go? And if I didn't go that far, I'm not successful. And I think sometimes it's like hard to get your mind straight, because mentally you're like comparing yourself to others, maybe others that aren't even like apples to oranges. They're not even in your realm. And it's tough. And now when everything's digital and everyone's on their phone, and these kids and Zoom, oh my gosh, how much I hate Zoom. You're just staring at the screen, and you're like looking at like different things, and you're worried about different things. You don't operate that way. You take the leap, and your strength pushes you forward. And again, more success, more connections.
And everything just seems to happen. I can't live my life any other way. I've tried to have the focus on the career and, get a job, if you will, like a traditional job, that sort of thing. It's just not been my path. And so I've had to, time after time after time, hold myself in this place of trusting and, in the unknown. And I've learned to thrive, in the unknown. And that doesn't mean it's like always perfect or always easy. As you know, it's a constant conversation and return to self and
churning it out.
But I believe that I'm doing what I came here to do, and there's so much more to do. I can't do it fast enough, And then the money comes, and the money always comes. And I didn't always think that way, but now I think that way, and that frees me to create.
I think a lot of people are looking for that freedom. I think that's a really good word.
Permission, freedom.
Permission, freedom. I mean, even going back to like just the regular 9 to 5, like, does that even exist anymore? Like, do you have to go into work? Can you have a little bit of freedom? Can you make it to your kid's game and not have guilt because, you got to take time off work or however it is? I think it's like the freedom, like to be able to feel the belonging in whatever relationship you're in. And it, work relationship, achieving relationship, which is, there's like a lot of self relationships that we don't really give any credibility to. And that's who we talk to all day long. At least me, that's who I talk to. I talk to myself all day long.
So do I.
Sometimes it's out loud, my outside voice. Maybe it should be my inside voice.
But that's your higher self, and there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, I find it's very self-soothing. You can work out a lot of stuff by talking with yourself. And the more I've told people that I talk to myself, the more that I'm fed back that they are too. Yeah. And at some point, I think that, it's really empowering to be your own counsel and to ask yourself questions first, or try to work through something first. And if you need to bring other people in, to be a mirror or to maybe have additional perspectives, that's fine. But, ultimately these self-conversations are, it's dope to, like to have whoever it is, like other versions of you, versions of yourself that are, just further along on the path that you can connect to.
Today I was burning incense. This is really silly, but I was burning incense in the house, and I just was like, hello, love house, like saying it out loud. And I'm thinking to myself, kind of looking around, like, Lindy, you're not normal. But at the same point, I'm like,
what is normal?
What is normal? I'm happy. I'm, doing a little dance around the house.
You do you.
I have the ability to take 2 minutes for myself, just whenever it is. And I think, to me, like, that is the measure of success. And you have helped enable that in me. You have shown me, just through your own demonstration of, like, it doesn't matter if I have to take 1 or 2 steps back, you're always going to go forward. And going forward is like, it can be just that simple as I'm successful because I'm always going forward.
We're so hard on ourselves.
I know. It's easy to do.
But there's a lot to do, you know. I get excited about life, you know. I get excited when I every day, you know, I wake up and I'm like, I have new ideas and new things I want to do. And as we were talking about in the car on the way over here, there's so many things. It's almost like you have to, you know, bring the focus back to narrow it down to, you know, what are some goals that I'm going to accomplish this year? Because there's so many things that I'd really, you know, love to do as
intentional.
But being more, intentional, discerning, kind of, you know, reeling it in a little bit and harnessing that energy. I meditate a lot. It's really my lifestyle. I work with energy. Mm-hmm. I create things. I work with crystals. So I have a lot of energy around me, running through me. It's my life and my livelihood, if you will. It's worked its way into.
How did you even come up with this?
I don't know.
This
COVID.
This I was actually here for.
Yeah, you were.
And it just was like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have another brand new successful idea. And I'm going to build my team and I'm going to have my coach and I'm going to do this.
Which you helped with.
Thank you. And now all of a sudden we have candles and scents. We have crystals. We have the bundles. We have the sage. We have the different wires and the meanings and just everything being blessed. How in the did you come up with this?
So it was COVID, right? Shut down the.
I hate that word.
Shut down everything, you know. And so I just found myself not being able to do my gatherings, my meditation circles anymore, even though they were out in nature.
Oh, no, everyone was, you know, there was the news, there's everything. We won't get into that for this episode.
No. So everything was done. And I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden everyone's online and they're doing everything on Zoom. And I did a few things on Zoom and I immediately felt like this is not my calling. And
it was tough.
Yeah. And I wanted to really honor that because after I had cancer, I promised myself that when I felt a certain feeling in my body, like a no,
you're going to respect it.
I was going to respect that. And I felt that. I was like, this is causing me stress. This is not how I'm supposed to be doing my work. Okay, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but show me. I'm open. So I started driving to Arizona I was actually interviewing and working with, doing a consulting project with a spa during COVID. So I had lots of road trips back and forth. And
I think I got a really nice crystal from one of those roads.
Yes, you did.
Uh-huh. I'll take 5 more, so anytime.
Yes, I was just there. Sorry.
Next time.
So yeah, on one of the trips back, I got a download that said, pull off at this exit, go to this place. And so I did, and I'm like, why am I here? And then I see this big, crystal warehouse, and I'm like, okay. And I had started to work with sage bundles and raw stones, and they were very small. I was wrapping them with twine, it was no big deal, but people loved them and they were buying them. And I started to feel like something was happening there. And so I wanted to go and buy more stones. So I went into the warehouse and I walked around for 45 minutes and I had nothing on my cart. And those the raw stones that I was looking for that I'd been working with were not there. It was all crystals and things. So I went back to the front of the store and I closed my eyes and I said, crystals, please tell me why I'm here.
I love her.
And I waited.
How long?
Just waited.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, not too long, maybe, 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
No, it was, I was all lit up by the crystals anyway. I mean, who thinks to go to the, go ask the crystals? Like, but yeah. I did, I had to take a moment. I was like, there's a reason why I'm here. I just don't know what it is. It's not clear to me. And I always tell people, it's like, slow down, take a breath, check in, and ask. And so I did. I said, why am I here? So it was just like, go back and walk around the store, you'll see. So I started walking around, and one by one, these gorgeous crystals started popping off the shelves. And it was like, hello, friend, hello, soulmate, you know, like, so all of them, like there was a recognition. And then my cart was full of sparkling, glittering crystals, and people were stopping me. And they're like, what are you going to do with these? And I was like, I don't know. So actually, what I ended up doing was I realized that I loved really large crystals. And the way that I could get them secured onto the sage bundle was to wire wrap them. This wire is really used in jewelry making. And so this bundle, this is an agate, and then this would be for calming. And you can remove the feather, and then you would light the sage, and then move the smoke around to clear a space. And when it burns down to the where the crystal is, you can just cut this off with a scissor. So I use all kinds of different crystals.
So
I have
beautiful.
Quartz crystal, which is the master healer, and then citrine for manifestation.
I like this one. This one is good.
She's fabulous. And then I bless them with a little sound healing ceremony to really seal the energy, because every crystal I get is a crystal that's spoken to me. I wash them, right. And then I work with them. So, yeah.
Why does some of them? Oh, you just have this twine here and then the metal here.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm wrapping fresh rosemary and lavender.
How
and
do
flowers.
you? Okay, so you have, what's your Instagram handle again?
So it's meditating with animals.
Okay, and how? And obviously link in bio and all that kind of stuff. Can you just buy this through your website? Or are there any like local places in LA at least?
Yeah. So so you talk about success, right? I was like, what do I want to do with these? Do I want to stand in my kitchen and make these for the rest of my life? No. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, but at some point I'm sure I would get tired of it.
Here comes the team. Here comes another team she's about to build.
16 sales reps now sell them to spiritual gift stores, mostly West Coast and Hawaii. But yeah, so I've grown that, and I just entered their Las Vegas showroom. They have a 10,000 square foot showroom, and so now the products are there as well, and I'm expanding to East Coast. So
I just thought of a new name for you. It's like a magical touch. You're like, I like this crystal, it's gonna sell. I like this venture, and I like that, and I'm gonna be happy doing it all.
But that's an energy. It's not, crystals and sage have been around forever.
Yeah.
So what you feel when you have this is it's my energy, and I cultivate my energy. Every day I am meditating. I am in nature. I am with my horse.
Sometimes I forget.
With the coyotes. You know, it's a very intentional cultivation that then translates to what I make. You know, and I believe that that's more of what it is. It's a feeling as opposed to the actual object.
So you couldn't just stop there.
No.
Now we're making candles.
Well, I love animals, and I also deeply believe that animals have incredible healing for us.
Wait, I don't think we ever talked about the name of the teepee.
Well, it's a house of two spirits.
Oh, I like the way you said that.
Wow. And that's myself and Tuxedo. We are the two spirits, because he's really the energy that, you know, through all the things
Healing.
that I've been through, he has kept me grounded to the earth. And I really do credit his presence with the fact that I'm still even here. Yeah. So he's
That's
my
cool.
he's my other spirit. So this was actually the horse candle. Is the fragrance is brushed suede. Have you smelled this? Did you stick?
I think like when I was at your house and there was a lot of different things going on.
There's always a lot going on.
No, like, should I pick this? Should I pick that? Oh yeah, I like that one. It's almost like a saddle.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's a little bit masculine, but it reminded me of him. And then I write the teachings on the candle. So the horse is leadership and freedom, and the smell is brushed suede. And so the idea is to really invoke your senses and to call in the power of that animal. The dolphin, a very fresh tropical scent. This is harmony and transcendence.
I don't know if that's my favorite smell. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. You don't have to like everything.
But I like the harmony and transcendence.
That's funny. That's usually everyone's favorite too.
It's like yeah.
And this is coyote, playful and cleverness. And that's cedarwood and grapefruit. And
I love this. I love cedarwood.
If you go on my Instagram, which you are on, you see all the stories of me out on the trails on tuxedo with the coyotes everywhere.
Yeah, I do.
I'm
the
obsessed with coyotes.
And like, yeah, they're like over here and playing here. Yeah. And this one that we have lit, this is
that's
the
the owl.
Wisdom and intuition.
That's right now my favorite.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, that's pine cones and birch.
I like really birch. Yummy. I have birch body wash. Ooh, maybe that's your next avenue.
Yes.
Never know. What are you gonna do now? I know you said that there's another energy calling. Something's happening for you.
Something's happening.
Something big and grandiose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not that you haven't had a big and grandiose life already.
I've had a really big life. And that's what all of this really is.
Encapsulate.
It's this is my joy. I love making things. I love working with source energy to create. It's like these are manifestations of my soul and my vision. And if I can continue to do this and to put this energy, this healing energy out in the world, just more of it, that's my goal. I want to create. So you're doing it. You introduced me to my business coach, Wendy, and she's been amazing. She's like, I call her the wind beneath my wings. She
is pretty cool. I really like her.
Because this journey is, it's challenging. You got to, if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, can you make 3,000 of these things?" Like I call Wendy and I'm like, "Hey, can I make 3,000 of these?" And she's like, "Say yes."
Yes, we'll figure it out.
She said, "Yes, we'll figure it out." And so that's what I needed. I don't need someone to give me the ideas. I don't need someone to tell me how to do the things, but I need the person who helps me feel like there's I have a safety net.
We all need that, like a little bit of comfort. And I think having that helps you move forward because if something goes, south, you have that phone call. You have that person who is on your side, no matter what, has your back, support. It doesn't necessarily need to be your significant other or your best friend or a family member. It's like someone who you really do trust and you build these relationships with.
And in the past, I've had my partners, my boyfriends, or my husband, were part of my my creations and just that world.
Right.
And I thought it'd be, refreshing to not do that.
Right.
To keep a relationship separate, and to have somebody who I was working with that wasn't involved in my personal life. And it's just proven to, be just incredibly expansive for
It's also
me.
who you attract, because that's why there's so many coaches and so many experts in the world, because you really have to be with someone who's aligned with your energy. And as hokey as that may sound, when you're not vibing with someone, when you try and take 2 steps forward and it's like 2 opposing magnets.
Well,
it's
and
not
you
a
work
secret.
with Ricky, so it's like, what that's like.
No, sometimes
it's
is this the PG version? Sometimes it's actually, I think both of us. Let's see, how do I PC? Both of us sometimes have to hold back for the other, and I think that's just like the respect of having the space, because we both do different things. I'm over here connecting people, being a resource, being some sort of center of influence, top of mind, and he's over here closing deals. And I don't flourish in that environment. And knowing that, being in tune with that, lets me know it's okay to have a yin and a yang. Like that's what you want. You don't want to be doing the same thing. So we do have a little bit of time away, but there's some times where it's quiet in the office.
But you work really hard at it, and I admire that because I know how difficult it can be. It can be very challenging, you know, especially bringing home. You know, you're out doing the work, and then you also have the home life. So, my point.
That's why I go to Mexico with my girlfriends.
It's important. It's so important to have your own, you know, something of your own too.
I like it too because like you get to bring something to the table. Literally for today, you're bringing like physical product. But if you don't have that ability to feel successful and then share that with whomever you want to share it with, then I don't know. Are you successful? Is that successful to you? I don't know. We don't know. So I guess I'm going to wrap this up because...
Do you want me to do a little...
Yeah.
Little chime?
Do it.
You're going to close your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a little sound healing for you. So close your eyes and take a nice deep inhale through your nose and a big exhale out of your mouth. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Just breathing in and breathing out. Just letting go any stress, no tension. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And opening your eyes.
I never want that to end. I forgot how soothing your voice was. I haven't had a sound bath in too long.
We have to do that again.
Thank you for sharing everything.
Thank you for having me.
Level up, guys. Go big or go home. How do you measure success?